And please be advised that a recording is being made at the direction of the board, capturing images and sounds of those attending the meeting. A link to the live Spanish interpretation of the Zoom meeting will be posted on both Facebook and our district website for anyone who would like to listen.
Se publicará un enlace en Facebook y en el sitio web del distrito para acceder a la interpretación en vivo en español de la reunión por Zoom para quienes desean escucharla.
Yeah. Item 4.2, report of actions taken in closed session. In closed session earlier tonight, the board voted by a vote of 4-0 to release and reassign a certificated administrator of the district for the 2026-27 school year. In closed session tonight, the board took action by a vote of 4-0 to non-reelect certain probationary certificated employees of the district for the 2026-2027 school year. No positions are being cut. Item 4.3, attendance roll call. Student Representative Enriquez. Okay, great. Oh, great. Hi. There, great. Okay, thank you. President Reed here, Clerk Rios, Trustee Gonzalez, Trustee Lopez Jones, and Trustee Rothberg Allen is absent. Okay, 4.4, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, visible, liberty and justice for all. 4.5, District Mission Statement. At Calistoga, we empower students to graduate with respect, empathy, integrity, and the skills needed for success in life and work. We provide a supportive, inclusive environment where students gain essential academic knowledge, critical thinking abilities, and real-world skills. Our goal is to ensure all students feel a sense of belonging, are prepared for future opportunities, and graduate with pride, resilience, and a passion for lifelong learning. Item 5, public comments. 5.1, public business from the floor, non-agenda items. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action or entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter may be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
We have We have one comment from Viri Agapov with regard of a concern at CES.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Viri Agapov. I am a parent of 3 children, ages 15, 7, and 5. I'm here tonight to express my deep disappointment regarding our experience at Calistoga Elementary School. A month ago, I made the decision to homeschool my 7-year-old daughter. This followed months of unaddressed challenges and significant lack of support from administration. While her struggles were not academic, her emotional needs and feelings were constantly invalidated, leading to anxiety and refusal to attend school. Despite my efforts to advocate for her, including meeting with the vice principal to suggest shadowing her during recess and requesting a witness be present during disciplinary matters, my suggestions were ignored. While a class change last year helped her finish the term strongly, the lack of administrative cooperation this year became unsustainable. Since enrolling her in a study program at Macon Valley District, my daughter is happy and smiling again. However, I was heartbroken this morning when, while dropping my son for TK, my daughter was simply handed a brown bag containing the items from her desk. To have her belongings returned in this manner without a single follow-up email from her teacher or the school over the past month demonstrates a profound lack of care and professionalism. This experience is entirely unacceptable. I am sharing this because the families of Calistoga Elementary School deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Viri. Item 6, presentation, 6.1, LCAP mid-year report. Dr. Pittman?
Good evening, everyone. Tonight is our mid-year LCAP report, which we give every February to talk about where we are in relationship to our 3-year LCAP. Just a reminder, we are in the second year of the 3 years. The LCAP goes from 2024 through 2027. We're having technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. Thank you. So just a reminder, we have 4 goals in the LCAP. Goal number 1 is related to academic achievement. Goal number 2 is safe and healthy environment. Goal number 3 is parent engagement and communication. And goal number 4 is specifically related to Palisades in regards to attendance and connection and community. For goal number 1, there are multiple metrics and targets over the course of the 3 years, which fall under college and career, local and state assessments, English learners, as well as other. So these are highlighted. I'm not going to go through everything just because there's a lot. And this will be posted to our website so that you can actually look at the data. So in terms of the columns, the column that we're looking at is the one with the green and the red, and that's our mid-year update. And so green means that we've either met the goal that we said we wanted to meet by 2027, or we are at least improving. So the ones that I want to call out are for our AP students. 82.2% of our AP students scored a 3 or better last year on the AP exams, which is above the state average. Individual tests are lower, but they are showing improvement. In relationship to college and career readiness, high school graduation, and our A through G requirements, we've already met our 3-year goal. So as we look at the LCAP this year, we'll look to see if we want to increase what our 3-year goal is since we've already met it as we move forward. We are meeting some of our English learner goals, but there's always still room for improvement. And so in terms of EL reclassification rate, that changes every year because as you reclassify, then there's different students that are in that population. So thinking about how we're going to raise those as well. One of the things that we're doing this year that we haven't done in the past is we actually have a multilingual learner committee that was formed this year that's going to be addressing how do we actually improve all of our scores for our multilingual learners. In regards to the MAP assessments, they were given last week and this week, so that's still in progress. So we don't have those results yet because part of the metrics are to look at winter to winter, and so we'll know more information in the coming weeks. This is in relationship to the CASP, so our state assessments, which are given at the end of the year. We are showing some growth in ELA, but there are still areas where we need improvement. Math, we've shown growth in all of our subgroups except for 2. And science, there's a new metric. So in place of how it used to be measured, this year is a new measurement where it's out of 100. So we're going to actually have to revise the language, and that's the blue highlight. We're have to revise the language for our 3-year goal because it's a new language that the state has put into place. In regards to what we've budgeted and what we've currently spent as of January 31st. So for goal 1, we've budgeted $19,848,141, of which we've already spent $11,458,833, or 58% of what we've said we were going to spend on that particular goal. Goal number 2, as I said, is around safe and healthy school culture. So part of this is surveys. So we're doing the California Healthy Kids Survey and we're doing our SEL survey, which we give in March. So that's still in progress. We have improved in our chronic absenteeism. We have not met our overall goal yet, but we are decreasing chronic absenteeism. And then our attendance rate has been steady and we still want to improve that. Our goal is 97% and we're currently sitting at 93.8%. So there's still room for improvement around actual just attendance. For goal 2, we've allocated $5.4 million, $5,420,877, of which we've spent $3,761,912, or 69% of what we've allocated for this goal. Goal number 3 is around parent engagement and communication. The first one where it says spring of 2026, this is our PK group. This has now been ongoing for, I believe, 5 years now. We started out with 28 families, and last year we had over 80. So we're really excited to continue that. Because we've been doing this now for 5 years, we're going to go back to the signature program, and that's going to start after spring break. So we'll have another round of families to participate in PK. We are halfway through the year, and so these are all still in progress in terms of the number of parent engagement opportunities and classes that we're offering in partnership with Up Valley and Napa Valley Ed Foundation. We've budgeted $502,874, and we've spent $247,422, or 49% for this particular goal. Goal 4 is specifically related to Palisades. And so 2 of those pieces are around surveys. And then our attendance is improving, but we're not quite there yet. We've improved by 1%, and our goal is to improve by 3%. And again, we're looking at students in relationship to what their attendance was at the comprehensive high school and improving that as they go to Palisades. And so the fact that they're already improving is a plus. And so we want to be mindful of that. I'm hoping that our principal, when she does her report, if she isn't, can share. One of the things that we did this year with this particular goal is they went on a field trip to Lake Tahoe. And so I'd love for our principal to share what she's heard from our students as they went to help them build connection and community with each other. And for this particular goal, we've budgeted $50,000 and we've already spent $45,488, or 91% of the goal. And that's my report.
Thank you for the report. Any questions?
One thing I do want to add is, as we're talking about mid-year, we are getting ready to push out this week the LCAP survey, which is really pivotal in terms of getting feedback from our students, staff, and families on what's going well, what we can improve in all of those goals. And then we'll be bringing that back to the team to look at if there is any changes that need to be made and how we can work together to move forward.
I have a question. This is, as you mentioned, a 3-year goal, and we're just past the halfway mark, but we've spent more than half of the budgeted funds for 3 of the 4 goals. So what does that look like for the rest of the time?
Yeah, so some of it is just because things were allocated earlier in the year. We're not going to overspend. The goal is to spend what we said we were going to spend by the end of the school year. So some bills just came out earlier than others.
Item 7, information discussion, 7.1, Napa County Office of Education letter review of first interim financial report. Maureen.
This is our first interim letter that we usually get from the county office. They do one after every reporting period, and so they have approved our first interim. As always, they encourage us to closely monitor our financial position with factors impacting our multi-year projections and make sure we update our multi-year projections and that we continue to take a proactive measures to safeguard our financial health as a district.
Questions? Okay. Thank you. 7.2, 2024-25 audit letter to the district.
The county office has also reviewed our 24-25 audit report. We had no audit findings, which we'll talk about in a little bit under our audit agenda item. Usually if there are findings in the audit, we have a corrective action that comes before the board. Because we had no findings, we don't have to bring that to the board. Good news.
Thank you. Item 8, reports. 8.1, student representative.
January and February have been eventful and engaging. After returning from winter break, we prioritized setting goals and strengthening student involvement. We hosted our Valentine's Spirit Week, which had a strong student participation and helped boost student spirit. We officially received our biliteracy medal, and I'm extremely excited about them. For our athletics, we celebrated our winter sports senior night to honor our athletes. And in addition to that, Diego Perez and Karen Capo were selected to compete in an all-star game against the college team, which is a significant accomplishment for both our school and students. Our Sober Grad Night Parents Committee held a Valentine's fundraiser, and while there was room for improvement, the event was well attended and enjoyable. We also met with our student advisory committee to gather student feedback. Based on their input, we are working towards implementing weekly sports and competitions during break or lunch. We are also exploring the possibility of creating student gear, snack, and drink shack to increase school spirit accessibility. Additionally, we are planning to host either a movie night or a field day at the end of the year to continue strengthening student engagement. We also have officially picked our prom theme, which I cannot share, but eventually I will, which will be announced at the March rally. We might have also picked our venue to TBD. But so far, February has been great, and I'm excited to see what is next. But yeah, that's about it.
Any questions? Okay, great. Okay, well, 8.2, Calistoga Associated Teachers. We have a report. Okay. 8.3, Classified School Employees Association.
Good evening. Buenas tardes. All right. So good evening, Dr. Pittman and members of the board. Buenas tardes a todos del board. My name is Monica Garibay. I'm the bilingual parent community liaison with the Calistoga School District, and this is.
Larry Black, Network Manager.
And we are truly honored to step into our roles of CSEA President and
Vice President.
for our CSEA Chapter 555.
It's a privilege to serve the incredible classified team and staff who keep the schools running every single day.
We take this responsibility seriously. Our commitment is to represent every classified team member in a respectful, professional, and open-minded way. We are here to listen and lead with integrity and to ensure member voices are heard clearly and fairly.
We believe strong unions are built on communication, teamwork, and trust. As the new leadership team, we promise to keep things moving forward, follow the rules, and speak up for members.
We may not have every answer, but we are committed to learning, asking questions, and working with the district leadership to best support our members. Together, we can create a positive and empowered environment for all our classified staff.
Thank you to our team for their trust. We're ready to serve.
Adios.
Thank you for your report. We're glad to have you and look forward to your future reports. Thank you. Okay, 8.4, Calistoga Elementary School Principal.
I will be giving the report for Principal Lamar. LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. During the February staff meeting, the mathematics leadership team did a presentation focusing on student discourse in mathematics. The math leadership team is a collaborative effort with NCOE specialist Shelley Thielen and Barb Corna and CES staff members Mark Marita, Amy Palma, Liz Graziani, Jeremy Smith, and Krista McCatty. Thank you. From there, we have developed a short informational sheet regarding practices to increase student talk discussion in mathematics, which will be reviewed at the next staff meeting. We are at the 75% point of conducting our grade level release days. During these days, we review MAP results. There have been some nice upward trends in both achievement and growth. And additionally, this year, we administered the reading difficulty screeners to our kindergarten students. Initial results of this assessment showed that the work we're doing with foundational reading is having a positive impact on our scores. LCAP goal number 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. During the last week of January, CES participated in the Great Kindness Challenge. This is a global week-long event during the last week of January, which empowers students, schools, and families to foster a culture of compassion, unity, and bullying prevention. Participants use checklists to perform 50-plus proactive, actionable acts of kindness. Organized by Kids for Peace, it serves over 21 million students in 135 countries. Students participate in activities such as greeting those who they do not know and showing gratitude towards others. This event was supported by our student council. LCAP goal number 3, increase parent engagement and enhance communication. During the last parent engagement meeting, parents were able to take a sneak peek at the construction occurring in the back area. The playground equipment is in and students are excited to start to use the equipment. And I think Director of Facilities Chris Oakes is going to give an update on that as well. And that's her report.
Thank you. Any questions?
One comment that my fifth grader really enjoyed the Great Kindness Challenge, and I thought that it was a nice way to get them all involved. So kudos to them.
Okay, 8.5, Calistoga Junior Senior High School Principal.
Good evening, everyone. In regards to LCAP goal number 1, ensuring academic excellence for all students. During the start of the second semester, Calistoga Junior Senior High School students began with a fresh start and renewed focus. Many senior students are continuing to work on college applications, most have now been submitted, and scholarships, and reaching out to different staff for support and guidance. During the month of January and into February, CJSHS administration is preparing and planning for the testing season ahead. At the start of February, MAP testing occurred school-wide with a modified schedule. Also in February this week, LPAC testing will begin for all English learners. Both MAP and LPAC results will determine which students can be reclassified as English proficient, and there is a focus on supporting students to meet this goal. It also will help to determine which students may need additional interventions. Also during February, students will engage in the course selection process with our counselors so that we can start the creation of our master schedule for the 26-27 school year. In regards to LCAP Goal 2, provide a safe, healthy, and positive school environment. CJSHS is very excited about the near completion of our newly updated track and field. While construction is not 100% complete, students do have access to access to the field during PE to run the track and engage in activities on the field. With the winter sports season closing, spring sports, including track and field, also are practicing on the new field. Additionally, in January, CJSHS held a planned evacuation drill on our field to familiarize ourselves with the new evacuation routes and locations. Post-drill, it was determined that adjustments will be needed in order to facilitate a more efficient organization of classes on the field. I can just share that one of the first questions that was asked is, why are the junior high kids all the way on the furthest spot? So we had a really big conversation about, well, the students in the STEM building have farther to walk to make it to the field, and the junior high kids are closer, so they get to go further. So sneak peek into the future, we are going to separate and have the junior high kids on one side of the field and the high school kids on the other, because having one straight line was not as efficient as we originally planned. That's why we do drills. Okay, moving on to page 2. Sorry, it is a long report tonight. Additionally, during February, the CJSHS MIT event class and our wellness specialist, Karina Solis, helped organize a Respect and Kindness resource fair for all students on February 10th during Catvisory and lunch. Through the coordination process, each partner was asked to create and host an activity rooted in spreading respect and kindness to oneself and one another. We had special projects leading up to and promoting the resource fair, such as the Respect and Kindness posters across campus and a dedicated Spirit Day during Spirit Week. It was Tuesday, I'd peel an orange for you, and we encouraged everyone to wear orange. And this brought awareness to teen dating violence. Both community partners and CJSHS classes listed below contributed to the success of the resource fair. We had news, our MIT event class, Teen Center, ASB Leadership, LGBTQ Connections, the junior high leadership class, Up Valley Family Center, Bianca, who is our school-based mental health therapist, our SRO, and Aldea. Also, News and Nimbus Arts hosted an evening event on Thursday focused on I'd Peel an Orange for You, which also focused on small acts of kindness and respect through the expression of art, and the collective art will be featured at a later date at a Napa venue. In regards to LCAP Goal 3, increase parent engagement and enhance communication. During the month of February, CJSHS held 2 site council meetings to review and approve the safety plan. CJSHS continues to hold monthly coffee with the principal gatherings and will rotate to snack and chat for the month of March. CJSHS continues to send out weekly newsletters to share with parents and students about ongoing events and activities on campus. On February 13th, as was shared by our student representative, Sober Grad hosted a Valentine's celebration with DJ, dancing, and food. That fundraiser helps support the Sober Grad celebration for all seniors. Are there any questions? I will share there are some Post-its back there from the Tuesday resource kindness fair. Thank you.
You. All right, 8.6, Director of Facilities, Maintenance and Operations.
Good evening, everybody. So we'll start with the fields. We're still a little bit behind with the concession stand. We are waiting on epoxy flooring and painting, as well as some concrete and asphalt patching. The weather's kind of holding us up on that. The epoxy flooring is due to go in next week. The remaining items are kind of dependent on the weather. So if we get a break in there, they'll be able to get there and get that stuff knocked out. We are providing all the appliances and the counter space in there. That should be here at the beginning of March. And as long as that epoxy is all complete, we'll get all that stuff installed. And our punch walk for that project is on March 3rd, which at that point we should be at about 100%, with just the punch items that are left on it. All right, next. The TK building. So as everybody's aware, we ended up having a fire there. Landmarks Insurance is covering everything related to that. They have not released the building to Landmark to do anything yet. They're still under investigation. They're waiting on a smoke investigator to come in and determine to what extent the smoke damages it, what the extent that damages from smoke. And then there's not been a report or anything, but the understanding is that the suspect source of the fire is an extension cord that was coiled up underneath the tile saw. So, but thankfully that's not going to impact the occupancy of the building. We should have a better idea of a timeline towards the end of the week, but right now we're looking at about 7 to 8 weeks from the time that the insurance company leases the building for them to get started. It really is a matter of some of the long lead items like doors and windows. So the other interior work isn't that big of a deal. And then they, even with the fire, so they stopped all the work there, but they didn't stop the work on the playground. That we were real anxious to get that done. We were really excited about it. The Landmark really pushed hard to get that done, and then the storm came through and kind of messed it up. So yesterday was the final testing on the impact and just inspection of torque on the bolt and the impact to make sure that the fall material is up to par. So it's clear to go. The fence is removed. As soon as we have some good weather, the kids will be able to get out there, which is good because the grass area is pretty muddy and wet. So, and then the last thing is generators. CES is out of DSA. That design is out of DSA. So the next step is to bid. The CEJS project is not have to go to DSA. That design is complete as well. So those two projects are going to be bid together. So once that's done, we'll be on the books with a contractor, and that'll be scheduled for the summer. We have meetings tomorrow about summer school, just to coordinate how we're going to make that happen. So that's all I got. Any questions?
Question. So going back to the fire damage and the smoke, do we have an estimate amount of how much is that going to cost? There was some kind of number reported on the papers, and I just want to, probably wait until the.
So I'm going to comment on that. We know that it's not $25,000. We do know that the insurance company will make that determination moving forward. But we know that that's not even remotely close to what it's going to be. Fortunately, though, the insurance company will cover it. In the meetings that we've been at, they've clearly come out and seen that it was an accident and that it shouldn't be an issue for any of us or for either of the construction companies. But that in itself is like a week of work. So it's not anywhere near what it's going to cost to actually do.
And while the construction company's builder's risk policy is going to be covering that. We do have our insurance involved, and they've at our first inspection, they were there to oversee it. So our insurance is involved as well. So I don't see us having anything out of pocket, but we just wanted them to be part of it. So.
And then I just had a quick question to touch on. I know it was brought up back in December about the baseball field and softball field. I just want to see what level of completion they are, because I know the first games, hopefully, depending on the weather, should be happening now-ish.
Yeah, so the first game for baseball should be Friday. The first game for softball should be Monday. With the delays on the field, they didn't get all the dirt piles and the trailer out of the way as quickly as I'd wanted to. There is a proposal on the agenda for a company that was recommended to me as the quickest way to get that grass reestablished. They were out 2 weeks ago. It was nice to get the sun on it for a while, but all this rain's really just swamping it. I can't imagine, even if that grass was there, that they'd be able to play on Friday or Saturday or Friday and Monday, just because our fields don't do that great with drainage. But both infields are completely redone. There was 150 cubic yards of infield mix that was brought in. All the grass infield areas were cut out. The mound on the baseball field was rebuilt with new clay. The home plate was replaced with a new plate and clay around it, as well as the bases. There's some accessories that we've gotten for them, some nice hoses and stuff for when they want to hose down the field. We also added an in-ground quick connect hose connection, so they can. There's already one at the softball field, but we added the same one at the baseball field right behind the pitcher's mound. So it's kind of a central location to plug the hose in and water everywhere they need to. So
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. 8.7, Director of Business Services.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the governor's 26-27 budget proposal. I attended the school services meeting in Sacramento on January 20th. And one of the first things that's being proposed is a 2.41% COLA. And I kind of want to go over that with the board. I know we don't get COLAs because we get property tax increases, but I'm hoping this might open our eyes to what our neighboring districts are facing right now as ADA districts and what the problem seems to be, at least one of the problems. But at a 2.41% COLA, if you're in a declining enrollment district, most districts are going to be taking a cut in revenue because you're getting paid on the kids that are attending school. So if you're losing enrollment, you're not getting paid on that lost enrollment or that lost ADA. For our district, I kind of did the calcs today. For our district, we'd be losing about $140,000 in revenue, going from 25 to 26 to 26, 27. As a district, when we go over year to year, we have to pay for step and column increases. We know that's a given. We have to pay for health insurance cap increases. We know that's a given. In just those two items alone for our district, we're at about $328,000. So when you add those two numbers together, our district would have to be looking at right now cutting almost $468,000 out of our budget between this year and next year. And so if you take that to our neighboring districts like Rincon Valley and Santa Rosa City Schools, and on top of one-time funds going away, this is also what's happening as enrollment is declining and ADA districts are losing out on money. All this to say that I think we need to be very fortunate in counting our blessings that we are a property tax district right now, and we are seeing our revenues above a 2.41% COLA. The other details of the governor's budget include the state owing Prop 98 a lot of big dollars. What they've been doing lately, the state has adopted their budget and saying, hey, we're not going to give Prop 98 its full funding, but we'll make it up somewhere. We'll settle up with you down the road. And that settle up is turning into one-time dollars. And so for those ADA districts, they're also only seeing one-time dollar in new revenue rather than ongoing revenue. For us, it actually happens to be a good thing because we are not only getting our property tax revenue, we actually get to enjoy the one-time revenue as well. Also noting that it's only one-time revenue and not ongoing. Currently, I'm working on the second interim report that will come before the board next month. And then in May, the governor will do a May revision. And so I will attend a May revise workshop. And that's usually what we project our adopted budget in the next year to be based on. On the food services front, our child nutrition fund or our food services department is undergoing administrative review this year. We've talked about that before. California Department of Ed will be on site next week. They'll be here all week long. Hopefully it won't take all 5 days, but it may, I don't know. And then there will be an on-site meal observation at CES on the 26th of February. I have to hand it to Rosa and her team. They do an excellent job of not only feeding our students twice a day, but they follow all policy and procedure to the letter of the law, which makes these reviews a bit easier, but Rosa has been working really hard to get ready for this review next week. Lastly, I continue to be grateful. I continue to count my blessings where I work and where I live. I've mentioned this to the board before, but I think in the world we all live in today, we see a lot of negativity in social media and news in general. And it's become very important to me on a daily basis to acknowledge my gratitude for certain things. I'm also so grateful to be able to work in Calistoga as well as live in Calistoga. And I work with a fantastic team in our district office. And I just really want the board to know that I appreciate where I'm at and I'm grateful for all good things in life. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Maureen. 8.8, Director of Educational Services and Human Resources.
Okay, good evening. So I attended the Napa County Collaborative Stakeholders meeting this month. It was a meeting facilitated by Gilly Miller. She's the Director of College and Career Readiness with Napa County Office of Education. It was attended by Napa County business leaders, K-12 schools, colleges, city representatives, and other agencies. And one of the things that happened at that meeting was a presentation by a professor of economics from Sonoma State University. And the main takeaway for me from that presentation is that the job market in Napa County is relatively strong, especially compared to Sonoma County, to Marin County, Mendocino, Humboldt. There are jobs available in Napa County, and there are going to be jobs available for the foreseeable future. It's a good thing for our students who are heading directly from high school to career, for our students in the future who will go to college and come back to Napa County. We want to be able to have jobs for our students within our own county and not have our students have to go somewhere else to find employment. There was a panel of employers that discussed the importance of high school internships, job shadowing, and work experience. These are things that we are already doing. We need to do more of, and we need to make sure that they're aligned to the job opportunities that are going to be here within Napa County. Employers want to hire our students, right? That's clear. We received a big shout out from Energy Vault of Calistoga for our student interns, for their maturity, their intelligence. It was a bright spot of the day, and it was in response to this interesting, negative question. The question to the panel was, what skills do the interns that come to you not possess? And I think it made sense. What they wanted was for the business leaders to tell the schools, make sure you're having your students have these skills before you send them to us. But Energy Vault's response was great. They kind of flipped the question on its head and said, I don't want to do that. I want to tell you about the great skills that the students of Calistoga brought. So it was great to hear our students praised. I was the Calistoga representative in the room, so people looked at me like I deserved some credit, but I don't. The credit really goes to our teachers, to our college career coordinator, our CTE teachers, our work experience teachers. Our teachers do a lot when it comes to finding employment, along with the county office that helps with that, finding the employers, fostering long-term relationships with the employers, getting the students prepared to be in those situations. And the credit goes to our students, right? Our students for showing up and showing their best selves, for showing Calistoga in a good light. So it was a great meeting, but it really, for me, it reinforced, the value of not operating as a school in isolation, but really working in collaboration with this county and the employers in the counties, in the county early on, so that our students have a good streamlined path into employment. I've been meeting with Napa Valley College about dual enrollment. Dual enrollment's a no-brainer, right? The state wants to see more in dual enrollment. The colleges want to see more dual enrollment. We want to see it, right? Every student who graduates from our school should have the opportunity to take college courses while attending Calistoga High School. The obstacle traditionally has been credentialing. There are some pretty high hurdles for our teachers to go over to be approved to teach a dual enrollment course. CTE teachers have a very easy path, but other than CTE teachers, you have to have a master's degree in the subject area that you're teaching. And over half of our teachers have master's degree. We have a very well-educated teaching staff, but those masters by and large are in masters of education, not masters of English or masters of history. The colleges have tried to address this. They've loosened those rules up a little bit over the years and said, well, you don't have to have a master's, but you have to have at least 12 to 15 upper level, graduate level units in that domain. But even that, our teachers really don't possess that. So we've been going round and round. But I do think we're looking to hopefully add one or more additional math classes for dual enrollment next year. We don't currently have any. Looking to add at least one additional CTE class next year in civil engineering and architecture and or engineering design. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to increase our dual enrollment opportunities next year. It's not a done deal yet. We're still talking. I will bring you a CCAP agreement later this year, which will detail what we'll be offering for dual enrollment. But I think really having our students have their first college experience in a supportive environment. We know our teachers do a great job of supporting our students to learning. And if they can take a college course with our teachers, I think it also helps strengthen the college application, and it makes the college experience more affordable. You know, college has become so expensive, right? And if our students can enter college with a number of college units, it shortens their college experience, and it really makes the college experience more affordable if they can enter college with as many credits as possible. So that's exciting to expand our partnership with Napa Valley College. Also been meeting with CISC. CISC is our health insurance intermediary to Kaiser, Delta Dental, Blue Shield. They will be rolling out a new process, which is called Eligibility Dependent Verification Review. They're trying not to call it an audit, which is what it is. And they did this years ago where they want to verify that the dependents that are on the employees' health plans really should be on those plans, right? And nothing's changed. Maybe you've worked for district for 20 years and no one's really checked it since you started. And it makes sense to keep costs down for districts, to keep costs down for the entire member pool if there are a number of people being covered who really shouldn't be covered. Years ago, this was kind of I wasn't around for this, but I heard it was a really painful process. I think it was like 10 years ago or so. They gave districts like 12 months. Each employee has to go into a portal and enter all their information. And I think it was hard. So this time, I think there's the pros and cons to it they're going to give a long runway. It has to happen every 5 years, but it will now not go away. It will be every 5 years, not kind of random. So we'll have to decide when we're going to do that, and we're not going to do it this year, but we'll have some discussions about when it's going to happen. We'll talk with our labor partners, and we'll have all those conversations. I do think it's very doable as opposed to uploading documents. They'll work with American Fidelity, who we already have a relationship with, to come sit with our employees and do a visual check of the documents. They'll look at it, say, yes, this works, or no, it doesn't. Please bring me something else. But I think it's very doable and it makes a lot of sense, but it will be a new process for us. And it will be substantial to have every employee who has healthcare meet with a representative and go through this. So we'll do it. It makes sense, but it is a new process we'll have to adjust to. And lastly, an update on after-school tutoring in Spanish at the elementary school. There'll be a training tomorrow on Wednesday for our tutors for the elementary school tutoring, with the tentative start date of Monday, February 23rd. I think that's next Monday. So this has been it's been a process to reboot tutoring this year, but I think we're there. I think we're on the precipice of getting that going. After school Spanish enrichment, I think I shared with you before, we've identified an instructor. Principal Lamar has worked with her parents to find out what the interest level is and which students would be attending. We did have a delay. Our instructor was in Mexico working in a bilingual literacy community program, which is certainly a good endeavor and is in line with the tutoring that she'll be doing, but it's kind of delayed us a little bit. So she's back and we have a meeting on the books, and we will move forward and closer to implementation. I know these things are both tutoring and after school Spanish enrichment are things we want to have happen. So we will get there. And that is my report for tonight.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions? Okay. 8.9 Superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. I want to first start off with sharing our Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year students. We had 2 students that were up for the award, and they were Jaden Sabu and Flor Sanchez Oliveras. And I'm excited to announce that Flor was the Youth of the Year for this year. That's right. Give her a round of applause. I do want to say that there are 3 students that are up every year between here and St. Helena, and this is the 4th year in a row that Calistoga's student has been named the Youth of the Year. Just saying. So they each get a scholarship of $1,000. I think Flora gets more, and then she will actually be competing at the next level to represent the state of California as well. So fingers crossed, and we'll support her in that endeavor. Want to also report that our girls basketball team made the playoffs. They are playing right now versus Sonoma Academy. I was hoping to get some updates on how they are doing. They just lost. But we still want to cheer for them. They've made it to the playoffs. Oh, bummer. I also want to report we have some members of the audience who have been waiting what feels like a lifetime for our field to open. And we are almost there. We are working on signs, and the reason that we're waiting is because we want to make sure that we have all the rules in place. So when we do open it, to share it with the community that helped us make this happen, that it will be open when students are not in session, when there aren't events that are happening, and that we want it to continue to be taken care of. There'll be rules of what's allowed and what's not allowed. And so we want to make sure all of that is up so that there is no confusion. And then we are working on a quote unquote ribbon cutting ceremony. Once it's all done, to share with both of our students as well as the community at large. And so that will happen hopefully around the beginning of our track. I don't want to say season, but our actual track event that occurs here on campus when we use the field. And everything will be done at that point. And so we'll have an opportunity to share it with our students and with our community. So we're excited about that. I just want to give an update that I attended the annual superintendent's conference between our last board meeting and now. It's always a good opportunity to meet with other superintendents across the state. It rejuvenates me in terms of the work that we're doing in serving our students and our community and supporting our staff in that work. One of the main topics again was around AI, but one of the things that and I actually had a conversation with the junior senior high school English department last week, when they had their release day, is when we think about AI, I had a colleague once share to me that the way you need to look at it is it's human first, AR, human last. And so it is here. And so what we want to do is figure out how to use it as a tool, and how to model and teach it to our students so that they know how to use it ethically, and not just assume that they know what they're doing. And or leave it for people to figure it out. And so how are we using it? So it was a really great conversation with the English department in terms of how they're using it as a tool and how we're supporting our students to use it as well. I want to give an update. 2 weeks ago, we had our final community housing meeting, which was really well attended. They gave updates on the feedback that they've received, both from the surveys that they've done on the property, as well as feedback from the community. They gave some updates on what the housing might look like. I was excited to see several of our staff members, both classified as well as certificated, at the meeting, looking at what the plan might be and choosing what house they want once it's all said and done. So that was exciting to see them excited about it. So next steps are that they are finalizing the actual application that'll go to the city, and that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. So more to come. Just want to give you an update that last week I attended AASA representing Calistoga and sat on a panel to talk about the great work that we're doing and what we want to continue to do in relationship to what Michael talked about in terms of supporting our students both in college and career, specifically in rural schools, knowing that we have sometimes limited resources. And so how do we support our students in terms of figuring out what they want to do after high school that may be college and may not be, but how are we supporting them to become the best version of themselves and to be successful when they leave us. So it was exciting to sit on that panel and to learn from other superintendents as well, who are in similar districts across the state or across the nation. And then our dual language immersion team is continuing to work. We had a meeting last week. We're working on having our first parent informational meeting. We're going to do a morning session as well as an evening session. So give parents an opportunity to learn what the program could be like, and then to submit an interest form before they actually try to move forward in terms of us assessing to see where they fall. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but we have a really solid team. And then many members of the team are also going to CABE the first week of March. And so they're going to be able to visit schools. They're going to learn, CABE is not just about bilingual education. It's about supporting multilingual learners in general. And so the team is pretty excited to go and be in San Francisco and see schools in session and learn from other colleagues across the state that support similar students to us. And that's my report.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Pittman. Item 9, consent agenda requires roll call vote. Consent agenda protocol is that actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff request specific items to be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. And all right. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor? Aye. Abstain? Okay. And then roll call, student representative Enriquez is absent. President Reed, aye. Clerk Rios. Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Lopez Jones. And Trustee Rathberg Allen is absent. Okay. Item 10, action items. 10.1, action item protocol. Protocol for action items includes a staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 10.2, acceptance of 2024-2025 audit.
So normally when you accept the audit report, there's someone from our audit firm talking about the audit. They were not able to make it tonight, so I'm just going to give a couple of recaps. The 24-25 audit was conducted by Christy White and Associates. And there was one new accounting policy that was established with the 24-25 audit that requires us to report compensated absences differently, which just means essentially more work for our payroll and business department to report to our auditors that they then report to the state. Auditors look at several different areas when conducting a school district audit. They look at financial reporting, state compliance, federal compliance, attendance, instructional minutes, personnel related documents, and much, much more. If you look at pages 74 and 75 of the audit report, you can see all the procedures they perform while they're conducting the audit. But most importantly, pages 78 through 80 show all the audit findings for the year ending June 30th, 2025, and I am happy to report there were none. This is a workload that is taken on by all of us in the district office, and I truly appreciate each person for the excellent records we all keep in order to keep us in compliance. That's it. Unless you have questions.
Going to say something? Oh, okay. Well, the recommended action is to accept the 2024-2025 audit as presented. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, 10.3, 3-year engagement with Christy White for district audit services.
So we would like to continue doing business with Christy White. They do a thorough job of auditing our books, as well as they have great reporting software, and they can run their own financial reports in our financial system, which is also excellent. So we would like to keep them for another 3 years. The 25-25 contract, or 25-26 contract is for $23,200. It increases by 5% in the next 2 years. And that's pretty typical in an audit report. I will say, I think we're getting a good deal. A friend of mine in Humboldt County just got quoted $45,000 and she has a district of 200 students. So I think we're pretty good budget wise and money wise there.
Okay. Well, the recommended action is to accept the 3-year engagement with Christy White for district audit services as presented. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. 10.4, 3-year engagement with Christy White for Measure A and Measure B bond audits.
We are required legally to have our Measure A and Measure B bonds audited for expenditures and how we spend our money, making sure we're doing it in alignment with what taxpayers voted for. That comes at a price of $8,800 for 25-26 with a 4.5% increase in the two outlying years.
Looking for a motion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay. 10.7, change order agreement with. Oh, sorry. Got it. Thank you. Thing is fighting back somehow. 10. Yeah, maybe. $10.5, add service number 3 for the CES floodway update to West Yost.
So this is the company that's been helping us try to adjust the FEMA maps. Just based on the amount of work that the city's done and the district have done to rehabilitate the river, we believe that we've increased the flow of the river to reduce the amount of flood zone and floodway there would be. They did come back with their study that's going to go and this add services for the next steps. So the data that they have and the maps that they created using FEMA formulas take us completely out of the floodway and the flood zone, as well as a good number of our neighbors. So any of them with mortgages are not going to have to pay flood insurance anymore. So this takes us through the next steps with West Yost guiding us through it. The first step is to go to the city with their recommendation letter. Once the city signs off on that, we'll go to FEMA. And once we're done with FEMA, then our maps will be adjusted. They're pretty confident that that'll be the case. So. What is the savings? 21,000. So the people at home could hear.
All right, so looking for a motion. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Just to add, that's going to allow us to also put the refrigerator and freezer outside of the CES kitchen when we do the remodel to open up space.
Okay, 10.6, agreement with Hanford for the CES Riverbank upkeep.
So as part of our most recent riverbank rehabilitation, there's a required monitoring period of 5 years. And that's a matter of maintaining that entire riverbank, checking for erosion, getting rid of invasive species, making sure the species of plants that they want there are surviving. So this is the same company that did the work as well as last year's maintenance. So this is just the second year of maintenance for them.
Thank you. Great. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now 10.7. Got there at last. Change order agreement with Hanford for CES Riverbank restoration deductive.
Deductive is a good change order. So basically, there was about 61,000 worth of stuff that we anticipated we would need to do as part of that project, but we didn't need to do that. So that's basically just going to not necessarily refund us 61,000, but it's going to take the contract down 61,000. So it's still a savings.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10.8, add service agreement with Nino and Moore for geotechnical observation, materials testing, and special inspection services for Calistoga Junior Senior High School track and field improvements, increment number 1.
So this one's actually pretty old. Apparently the invoices and the ad service were going to the wrong email address. But this took place around September, October, when there was a real big push to get the field ready for our first games. The contractor doing the grading was working 10 to 12 hours a day and on weekends, which meant this company had to be out for 10 to 12 hours a day and on weekends to do the testing that was required. And that was not within their original scope of work. So this covers their additional time, overtime, weekends, travel, all the additional work that they had to do to keep up with the project.
Just one quick note, while I am happy that the track and the field were all able for our students to use, an increase in 51% in what they quoted to what they're actually charging is kind of a hard pill for me to swallow. I know we're past the fact and the students deserve the field to use it, and this is not something that happens often, but a 51% increase is kind of challenging for me to understand, as I know it is for you also. But just something to note, you know, if we continue working with them in the future to maybe have them be a little bit more detailed on their quotes, so we can get a better picture of what we're actually going to pay.
Yeah, I was trying to get some understanding and some of the additional work scope was also a lot of areas that weren't meeting compaction. So the contractor had to dig all the dirt back up, add lime and different chemicals to get that compaction. So that was more. But it's also, this is a really specialized service and I think
Yeah.
we know that.
Yeah, no, we know,
There's
yeah.
not too many people that do it.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. It's just, you know, seeing a 51% increase is just not something we're typically seeing here. So that's
Yeah,
the only
no.
reason why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, for sure.
So looking for a motion to approve the agreement as presented. All in favor? Aye. 10.9 Facilities Joint Use Agreement with agreements with the City of Calistoga.
I am excited to share that after several months, if not years, working with the city, we have come to an agreement where we will truly have joint use agreements where we're able to share our facilities at no cost to either entity. The only thing that we will be charged for or we will charge them for is when people are involved. So for example, when we use the pool and lifeguards are there, we will pay for the use of lifeguards, but we will no longer be charged for heating of the pool or use of the pool. And vice versa, when they use the small gym for youth basketball, the only thing that we would charge for is if we had to have custodians on site. So we're pretty excited to finally bring this to fruition. So I'm asking for the board to approve the joint use agreements.
Great work, thank you. Great. All in favor? Aye. 10.10 Board Policies and Administrative Regulations.
So this is just a continuation from last month. There are no changes from what I presented last month.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, 10.11 Update Board Meeting Dates.
So last month, I brought the idea for us to look at moving our board meetings because when we had them on the first Monday of the month, they continually, over half of them were changed to a different date. So it was never really truly the first Monday of the month. And so I was looking for a way for us to be more consistent so that our families and staff and community know when our meetings were. So originally I had presented the second and third Tuesdays, but it was brought to our attention, you know, that the city council meetings are on Tuesdays and theirs are every 3 weeks. So it wouldn't be a conflict all the time, but there might be conflicts. And while there isn't always an overlap of who attends city council and attends us, we don't want to set up an environment where somebody has to choose. So I've now brought, those dates are still on here, but I'm proposing that we actually move our meetings to the second Monday. So we continue to keep a Monday, which we are familiar with, which our staff and families are familiar with. And if we go to the second Monday, we wouldn't have to make any changes because it would come after a break, but we as the district office would be able to present and be ready for that second Monday. Question, concern?
18th, is that not coast to coast?
None of us are going this year.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clear that.
Yes.
This sounds good to me in principle. Last time we punted because Laurel wasn't here. Should we punt this time because Stephanie's not here?
I think she's okay with the second Mondays because it stays on a Monday.
But do we need a motion to adopt these changes?
To move to second Monday, yes.
All in favor? Aye. Great, okay. You're gonna answer to her. All right, so that brings us to item 11, closing items. Any board member reports?
Just a quick one, that we did the DLI planning day and I thought that it was, a very productive day. And I was also able to see the kindness resource fair at the junior senior high school. And it was really great to see all of the students, and staff involved. And it seemed to have a really positive outcome. Also attended the senior night with both of my girls. And it was really, really fun to see both games and have the outcome that there was at both games, and then see all of the seniors honored at the end of the night. And a huge shout out to Diego for his points. My gosh, that's incredible. And valedictorian, my goodness, that's even more incredible. And it was just such a great night because the stands were filled and the energy in there was great. And, you know, hearing Jack McMahon speak after all of the decades that he's coached here, it was just all around a really great evening. So thank you so much for putting it on. And it seemed like there were a lot of students that were there supporting as well. So it was a really fun night. So thank you for doing that.
Just want to mention to the board that how impressed I was at one of the last community protests that happened in Calistoga, to see our students that felt empowered enough to go and voice it, have their voices heard, but not only supporting the community, but making it as an educational experience. I was walking to Main Street, and I was surrounded by a group of boys who were carrying a microphone, and they have a camera with them, and they were interviewing participants there, and they asked my opinion, and they were very interested in what I had to say. And to me, that speaks volumes, right? Our students are feeling like, yes, they can go, voice their opinion, voice their, have their voices out there for the community to hear, but also interested in making it something more than that, right? So until now, you probably know what happened with the students who were videoing and interviewing people, but to me, it's like, I felt so proud of them that they were doing that and talking to whoever wanted to give them an interview. So kudos to them. Thank you.
Okay, so board meeting calendar. How did we count? So the next meeting is March 9th. Tentative future agenda items, second interim financial report. We'll bring the popcorn. And there's no need to reconvene to close session. So that brings us to adjourning the meeting. And who'd like to make that motion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming, everybody.